I'm Mariko Bolfu, and this is Uncut News. Everyone's favorite den of thieves is back in session. I'm talking about Parliament, of course. This morning marked the first session of the 12th Parliament. This time they said they ain't taking set-up. Yesterday, the clerk of the National Assembly sent a letter to MPs demanding they show proof of not being a dual citizen. Thus far, only Gail Teixeira has provided evidence. No one within the opposition showed theirs. That's because they had already left the building by that point in response to the election of Lennox Schumann as the Deputy Speaker of the House, while former TUF leader and past PPP Minister Manzoor Nadir was elected as the new Speaker of the National Assembly. They did not have issue with Nadir, as he was expected to gain the position, but the opposition took issue with Schumann's victory over their pick of former Speaker and AFC leader Raphael Trotman. The government had used their majority to win in that matter, but apparently the opposition said that Schumann was a terrible pick for the position, as they believe that he couldn't get enough votes to win a seat by himself, and asserted that some people have more Facebook friends than Schumann has votes. Despite the severity of that burn, he says he's happy for the chance to take up the position. Lucky guy. Usually Guyanese go to Canada to work 3 jobs and not the other way around. Following the coalition's walkout, $11.2 billion was allocated for 17 constitutional agencies for the remainder of the 2020 fiscal year. Since Jagdeo hasn't admitted that he's going to be the finance minister yet, Bishop Don Magic Juan Edgel assumed responsibility for that portfolio and presented the current and capital estimates for these individual state bodies. Get ready for some stimulation, courtesy of the government. Yesterday, President Irjak announced that each household will soon receive a $25,000 check to help with expenses during the pandemic. Just know that it is a one-time payout, people, so don't waste it on that bloody $21,500 pyramid scheme. You've always dreamed of owning your own car, but it seems like your foot is destined to be on the tar. Change of destiny. Bring your $800,000 savings down to BM Auto Sales at Lot 9 Grove Street, Georgetown. Tell them Noriko sent you to find out about their loan option, or call them on telephone number 231-8451. BM Auto Sales. It's your turn to drive. Scamming Yuri and his wife Atika were slapped with 10 additional fraud charges yesterday. It is alleged that between May and July 2020, they acquired 60 million Guyana dollars from 10 persons under a false pretense. They pleaded not guilty to the charges and were ordered to post $1 million bail each. They will be back in court for this charge on October 5th, 2020. Let's take a look at Burpees, where another set of scammers just got busted. Last night, police arrested a gang of counterfeiters in Corriveton after someone snitched on their operation. The officers searched the home in Crabwood Creek, where they found an HP desktop printer, 2 laptop computers, and they also seized a total of $320,000 in counterfeit currency and took 4 suspects into custody. It is suspected that the computers and printer were used to produce the forged notes. Investigations are ongoing. Yesterday, a 15-year-old boy in Essequibo was slapped with 2 murder charges for allegedly killing 2 of his family members, including a 3-year-old child. The young man was not required to plead to the indictable charge, which stated that on August 13th, 2020, at Butt Creek Upper Pomeroon River, Essequibo, he murdered Ramdat Singh, and on August 14th, he murdered 3-year-old Kisoon Williams. The boy was remanded to the Juvenile Holding Center until September 21st, which is his next court date. China's SWS shipyard has finished construction on the hull of the 3rd FPSO to be deployed offshore Guyana. Its name, Prosperity, and construction on the hull started in January 2019. The FPSO Prosperity is expected to be deployed at ExxonMobil's Stabroek Block as part of the Payara oil field development. The FPSO Prosperity will be able to produce 220,000 barrels of oil per day and will be able to store around 2 million barrels of crude oil. Exxon is hoping that the Payara project will commence late this year. It was originally supposed to start in 2019, but was delayed due to the fact that we didn't have a real government. Triple G Spot sells big people bedroom toys. Show yourself some love. Call them on telephone number 649-3679 or message them on Facebook at Triple G Spot and get yourself a rubber friend. Now, let's take a look at news in the region and around the world. In Trinidad and Tobago, the police-involved shooting of 54-year-old Venrick Hudlin in Maruga on Saturday sparked protests in the community yesterday. Hudlin was fatally shot by an off-duty police along Gomez Trace while walking along the roadway near his home. Residents blocked Maruga Road with burning tires and other debris. A team of officers visited the scene and tried to reason with the protesters, noting that an investigation was active and residents should be patient. After further discussions, the protesters were dispersed. KFC in St. Lucia has announced that it has adopted a new slogan to promote safety during the pandemic. KFC said they understand that given the pandemic and the importance of hand washing to combat the virus, the slogan "Finger licking good" may not be the most appropriate instruction to give customers. Rightfully so. So, now they are changing their iconic slogan, which has been in use for over 64 years. The slogan is now, "Eat up safely." So, instead of licking your fingers, they now encourage you to wash your hands thoroughly before and after every meal. This new slogan will appear in the advertisings in the Caribbean and the rest of the world in the coming months. The U.S. House of Representatives will likely vote on a historic marijuana decriminalization bill next month. The Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act would remove weed from the Controlled Substances Act. States would then be free to pass their own laws surrounding it, which is already legal in 11 states and Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. The bill will also establish a fund for people impacted by drugs, impose a 5% tax on legal marijuana sales, and establish a process to expunge certain convictions and review sentences related to past federal marijuana offenses. Don't ignore this business opportunity. Become a digital top-up vendor with Cellular Plus and earn some extra cash. Earn a decent commission to supplement your existing hustle. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 and find out about their special offer. And now for our weird news story of the day. Do you know what's the sound of one hand clapping? No? Well, New York State resident Corey Marcellaro does. He recently broke a Guinness World Record for most alternating one-handed claps in 1 minute when he managed 853 claps, which is an average of more than 14 claps per second, which I didn't even know was possible. His total beat the previous record of 685, which was set in 2019 by Hassan Al-Ghazali of Baghdad, Iraq. Video and audio evidence of the attempt is being submitted to Guinness for official certification, which officials said could take up to 12 weeks. Wow, Corey, you just broke a record for something I didn't even know existed. Good on you. Moving on to our Uncut News Viewers Poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Guyana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. You give your responses in the comments, and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Yesterday I asked, what do you think will come out of the recent political arrests? Izenwata Damien said political arrests are only a form of distraction. The government should get to work and stop being on a mission to humiliate or pay back those that initially frustrated them. Before you know it, they will be on political arrest cases and 5 years will pass by. Jamal Husseini said, same old, the powerless must abide by the law and the ones with it don't. This has nothing to do with race, religion, etc. It is how we like to run we mouth and not take action to stand up for our rights against this unfair, biased political views of the people. So I don't mind Mingo ain't really gonna get bad judging for the amount of money he got. We like fight against each other for people that don't feel nor give a crap about us, or at least most of us. And finally, Raywan Rabindranath says, politicians, in public they fight, behind closed doors, they kissing one another. Fake. Good answers, people. So tonight I leave you with this question. To my understanding, we're supposed to get a one-time $25,000 check per household to help during the pandemic. Do you feel that this is enough? Think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good, we just might feature it in Wednesday's episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out tomorrow for another episode. Until then, I'm Noriko Bullford saying good night, folks. Hey Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now.